Hello students. Uh, in the protected cultivation things, we have a very important aspect in the post-harvest, and you can say the secondary agriculture is about the handling of the produce once the crop is harvested. So drying is one of the most important operation, which is been if ignored, it may cause huge crop losses. So this is of very significance that we should maintain the crops at a proper moisture level in order to have rate in the cooperative markets or mandis, or you can say from the buyer. So what is there, either we have to see that in the field itself, that if the crop is at a proper moisture stage, or if the crop is at generally, these all grain crops are considered at proper moisture around 13 to 15%, like wheat, your paddy and all. But if it is not there, or maybe you have to harvest the crop due to seeing the weather conditions, then they has to be dried. And after the harvest, and so that sometimes these are dried for threshing purpose also, because the threshers are not working on the wet straws, so they has to be dried so that the threshing, the grains can be threshed out of these total plants. Now, this is the concept which we are going to discuss in this presentation. To provide the basic knowledge on post-harvest management and to know about the value addition in crops. Now, first is paddy drying. The paddy drying is a very important concept, and because the paddy needs drying for the good marketing. And generally, the paddy is harvested in just after the monsoon, and sometimes the areas are wet, and the crop is sometimes due to weather fluctuations, the crop may remain at higher moisture levels, but the time has come up because you have to succeed with the another crop. So sometimes the crop is harvested and they are dried, and then they are thrashed for proper grain, separation. Now, sun drying, pavement at a rice mill, a farm level dryer in Vietnam, and recirculation batch dryers at the rice mills. Now, these are some pictures here, which are just showing you the process of drying. The local and the common way to dry is to spread the grains on the floor, and then from there, these crops are dried. Sun drying, or you can say this way. But this is sometimes there is sometimes all of a sudden there is a weather change, or may raindrops may come, or sometimes the birds may uh, you know it drops there, and as such this is a little and time consuming also. So some equipments have been designed for drying, and out of this the mechanical ways are also are made so that these crops can be dried at a faster speed. The moisture contents required for safe storage of different storage and for different storage periods. Now, for example, the weeks to few months storage, then there is a moisture of 14% or less is needed. If 8 to 12 months storage, then 13% is needed. If farmer seed, then is below 12% is required, and storage for more than a year may need more than 9%. So, what are the problems if you have not maintaining the moisture properly? There is sometimes insect damage, loss of germination, and then maybe some development of algae and fungus. You can then see the damaged grains due to moisture. If there is a keep moisture at a higher stage, so these may get rotten up. So there is an overview of different drying methods and the technologies which we are using. Let us come up. The first and the common way and the farmers practice is field drying. So field drying, you know well that this is either piles or racks, or maybe at pucca floors. These grains are spread, so they need rapid quantity reduction. Then heating, air drying, so there is a sorry, second is sun drying. So in sun drying, drying payments are there, cheap, labor intensive, and typically poor milling quality is there. uh, Whereas in the heat and drying systems, in this there is some batch in this, maybe batch wise. So there is two type of dryers, like bed, fixed bed dryer, and recirculating, this one, and recirculating batch dryer. So I will show you some YouTube links for this. These are some mechanical ways in which we can just there is some heating arrangements inside a chamber, and the grains are allowed to pass on from there, and in the pass on, they just release the moisture, and the dried grains are collected. There is another way to have the continuous flow dryers also. The idea is same, that all these are used for the purpose of drying the grains. Now the third way is in store drying. This is storage bins with aerated components, so that the grains when stored, they can also has drying process. These are certain equipments like kerosene fired tilted bed dryers for easy uploading and drying in bin with perforated false flow. The picture which I have just shown you in the beginning also, the Vietnam's low cost dryers, because Vietnam grows paddy at a good as a major crop. So there is these kind of locally made, or you can say um, dryer is there, in which there is a you can just see here in the center there is a heating system, and in the sides the crop grains are filled, and they come up with the contact, and just you know there is a heating. Now here it is reversible flow batch dryers, as you can just see here in the picture, and there is a real picture of this kind of dryers. This is a recirculating batch dryers in Philippines. The rice areas, the component of recirculating batch wise these dryers, they are at a little higher level. So these are some of the kind of dryers which are required to have the paddy dry. So this is about the day. So thank you, students.